I found out my friend slept with my husband because of her red dress at our wedding rehearsal. I 27F married my husband 30M last weekend, thinking it was the happiest day of my life. But now, I can't shake the feeling that my entire marriage is a lie because of a red dress. Let me explain. The night before the wedding, we had our rehearsal dinner. It was a small, intimate event with close friends and family. My bridesmaids and I had discussed outfits beforehand, and I had just one request: no red. Not because of any real superstition, but because of a saying my grandmother always repeated: a woman who wears red to a wedding is announcing she slept with the groom. It was an inside joke in my family, nothing I took seriously, but still, I asked my bridesmaids to avoid it. So imagine my shock when my friend and bridesmaid, Lindsay 28F, showed up to the rehearsal dinner in a bright red dress. At first, I tried to laugh it off. Maybe she forgot, but when I looked at her, she just smirked. It was a look I couldn't quite place at the time, something between arrogance and amusement. My stomach twisted, but I told myself I was overthinking. I had a wedding to focus on. And so, the next day, I married my husband. Then, 3 days after the wedding, my other bridesmaid, Aria 26F, called me. She sounded off hesitant, almost scared. Finally, she said, "I need to tell you something." And I couldn't say it before the wedding because I didn't know for sure. But I do now. She took a deep breath and said, "Lindsay slept with Jackson. It happened months ago, before the wedding." I saw the texts. I felt my heart stop. My hands started shaking as she explained. She had recently gone through Lindsay's phone, long story involving a borrowed charger and an open messaging app, and she saw explicit messages between Lindsay and my husband, conversations about sneaking around, about how it was a mistake but they couldn't stop. The last message was 2 weeks ago, before the wedding, and suddenly, everything clicked. The way Emily smirked in that red dress, the way my husband got quiet when she arrived, the way I felt uneasy but ignored it because I didn't want to cause drama before the wedding. I confronted my husband that night. At first, he denied everything, swore Arya was lying, but when I told him I knew about the texts, he just sat there in silence. Eventually, he admitted it happened only a couple of times, but that it was meaningless and he never planned to leave me. As if that made it better, I asked him if he ever would have told me. He didn't answer. I feel like my entire wedding, my vows, my future, everything has been tainted. And the worst part, I don't know what to do next. Some of my friends say I should file for an annulment immediately. Others think I should take time to process before making a decision. But I just keep replaying that moment: Emily, standing there in her red dress, smirking at me like she knew something I didn't. So, Reddit, if you were in my shoes, what would you do?